Hey guys, Sherm here, and today I'm going to be testing the Porsche 918 Spyder in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 for the second time, this time at 4 stars, and wow, is it fun to drive! I'm at rank 3746 with all upgrades and import parts applied, including the epic ones, and I actually do have enough epics to fully max out this car if I ever were to get enough blueprints to fully max it out, which I do hope to do at some point, because I really do like driving this car, and I quite enjoyed making this video about it. So in this race, we've got another 918, and we've also got two VLFs. Now, I would argue that the VLF is slightly better than this car. It is faster by 5-ish miles per hour, something like that, and it's pretty much good in all other aspects as well. And it can beat the 918 and Huayra BC by a little bit on pretty much all tracks, I think. Now, this was the reason that I put it ahead of the 918 and Huayra on my best and worst cars in each class list. I do plan to keep updating that or making a new video about best and worst cars in each class every few updates, maybe. I don't know exactly how often I want to do it, but basically, when the previous one becomes very much outdated and there's some things I obviously need to change a lot, then that's probably when I'm going to be making a new one, which is kind of why I made that second one there. Now here, I somehow knocked down this guy. I don't know exactly what happened to him. Did he just stop against the wall or something? I didn't see what happened during the race, and I don't really get what happened now either. But in any case, that allowed us to get quite far ahead after a pretty close battle there on the first lap, and we come in first place. We beat another 4-star 918 as well as two 5-star VLFs. Now, the reason that there is no background sound, like sounds of the engines or music in the game, is because every time I stream, I have to change some settings in my OBS software that I use to stream and record, and I forgot to change it back before recording this. So yeah, if any of you are wondering about that, that's the reason. I'll definitely try to fix that before my next video. Now, this is on one of the new Caribbean variants, and again, we are against two VLFs. Now, there are certainly some Caribbean variants that I like better than others, and I would say this is probably one of my more favorite ones, because it's actually one of the straighter ones. There are, of course, some turns and stuff, but there are some good straight sections like this one where you can get going pretty fast and you don't have to go through that horrible jungle section, and overall, this specific variant feels a lot more like, well, a variant of any other track that you might find. And so, yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I do like it a lot. Now, on my best and worst cars in each class video, there was some debate, let's just say, over whether the Porsche 918 or Huayra BC is actually better. I honestly think the cars are pretty much equal, because the thing is, there is an A-Class Elite event, and the top is always about an equal number of Huayras and 918s. So yeah, that's pretty much your answer right there. The VLF is slightly better than both, but in this race, we managed to beat both of them. Okay, now in this race, we've got a maxed VLF, a 5-star Spyder, a LaFerrari, and a 5-star Corvette Grand Sport. Now, you may think the Corvette Grand Sport is at a pretty big disadvantage here because its speed is like 15 to 20 miles per hour slower than all the other cars in the race. And that's true. However, it has extremely good nitro efficiency and handling, and that allows it to stay at its top speed, well, most of the map. And if you have the Corvette Grand Sport, you know exactly what I mean. And the guy who's driving it in this race, Colliston, is a very good driver who I have faced several times in multiplayer now, and so yeah, definitely don't underestimate that car. I only have mine at 3 stars, but it's very good even at 3 stars, and even at 1 star, I was able to beat P1s and Centenarios in it. So yes, I think I probably should put it maybe a little bit higher on the best and worst cars in each class list. As time goes on and more tests and stuff are made, hopefully those videos will get more and more accurate. So we're coming up near the end of the race here with another Porsche 918 just in front of us, and what do you know, the Corvette Grand Sport is in first. We managed to catch up and barely pass that 918 who lands on us, but thankfully we have Shockwave and thus don't get knocked down. We come in second, and that Corvette Grand Sport comes in first. Now for a race against a Porsche 918 above 4,000 rank. Also, we've got a VLF, a Grand Sport, a Huayra, a GTR, and the new Aventador J. So, a bit of a sad story for me about that. I spent the 12,000 tokens I had been saving up on Lamborghini packs, not the J, but the ones that had the Evo and the Egoista and the SV, because I knew that those cars were going to be used in a Terzo event and I wanted to star them up to get as many Terzo blueprints as possible. Well, I did manage to 5-star my Egoista and max out my SV, but I didn't even get to max my Evo. I'm still 7 blueprints away from that, and I'm out of tokens, meaning that I have no tokens left to buy Aventador J packs. And I really do want that car. Now, there's the car hunt for it, yes. However, the drop rate is like 1 out of 10 or something like that, maybe even worse for some people, like myself, and you can only play it 400 times. I mean, not only, you know what I mean. Like, you can only get it up to 1 or maybe 2 stars by playing that. I would rather the drop rate be higher and you didn't have to play it as much. I just said only because if you were able to play it more, you technically could get it to higher stars with the current drop rate, which is kind of what they did with the Venture thing with the 888 races, which I do not like, of course. I would rather them have much better drop rates and much lower amount of races required, because you guys probably know that I hate grindy sort of things, which is one reason I quit Asphalt 8, because I hate farming. So I may or may not be getting the Aventador J. Now here he comes in 5th place, however, he was only at 2100 rank compared to all these 3800 rank cars that I'm facing, like 1,000 higher than him, so that's not entirely surprising. What I've heard about the J is that at max, it has a lower speed than the Aventador SV, but better handling and possibly better nitro efficiency. Apparently, it's a pretty easy to drive car. I know that some people have managed to max it already. Some people in RPM have gotten it to multiple stars. So maybe if I don't manage to get it, I'll be able to get somebody's races in it so I can still have a video about it for you guys. I usually like to do that with the cars that I do not manage to get. Now here, I didn't go up any of those barrel rolls because in a previous race, I had some issues with them just not putting me back on the track and me going too far one way or the other, and I figured since I was ahead, I wasn't going to do anything even slightly risky because it would be completely pointless since I'm very far ahead of them already. That is one thing you've got to learn to do in multiplayer. Assess when risks are worth taking. Risks are more worth taking when you are behind. The further ahead you are of people, the less risks are actually worth taking. Now, you're not just going to learn what risks are worth taking when and when they aren't in like a day. Obviously, this takes experience, but I'd say that if you can get pretty good at that, you can win a lot more races than you might be able to if you never do risky things when you're behind, or if you always do risky things when you're ahead and they might cause you problems. There we do a barrel roll at the end and come in first. Against the same 4,000 rank Spyder as before, as well as a 3,900 rank Corvette Grand Sport and a 3,300 rank Huayra BC. Now, in this race, we've got a Huayra BC and another Porsche 911. This time, the 918 is 3-star and the BC is closer to max, so we'll have to see how this goes. By the way, all of these races were recorded in the Classic Series, which is a series in which you can play in any car, and therefore it makes it much easier for me to record videos in this game, because I can play with whatever car I want, whenever I want, well, as long as it's actually competitive in the league I'm in. I mean, I'm not going to play with a homage in, like, Platinum League or something like that. Anybody who was there for all of my stream probably knows what I mean. Basically what happened, well, I'm not going to tell you. You'll have to go watch it and find. Okay, never mind. One thing I wonder is how the other new car in the update is going to come out. The Mercedes SLR, which was there in Asphalt 8, it was there in Asphalt 6, I believe it was. It was a pretty good car in that game, actually, because, yeah, Asphalt 6, fun fact, was actually my first Asphalt game. I also played Asphalt 7, so I played 4 games in the main series as well as 3 offshoot ones. It would be Asphalt Extreme, Asphalt Overdrive, which I played for like half an hour, and Asphalt Street Storm, which I also played for like half an hour. Asphalt Overdrive was probably the worst out of all of them. It was a neat game in terms of, like, the concept. It was a swipe thingy, but it didn't really fit in the Asphalt series, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I wonder if the SLR is going to be unleashed or some other way. I have not heard anything about it. I hope it doesn't end up like the Genty. So here we come in first and get to 1675 rating. Now, this race was recorded right after it, and I was hoping to maybe get to 1679 rank, but the only way I'd be able to get to there is probably if I came in exactly second or something, because if I come in first, I'm going to go up over 10, and if I came in third, I'd probably stay equal or go down slightly, because at this point, I was actually in the top 100 of multiplayer. Yeah, not many people apparently have been playing multiplayer as much on Windows as they did before, because in both the Aventador and this season, I mean, there's hardly anybody in Legends, it seems. Or maybe it's just really difficult. I'm definitely going to try to get to Legend and try to get some sort of top position in multiplayer in this Classic Series if I can, because I have a lot of pretty good cars. And in the J season, I don't know. Funny story, I actually forgot about the first special season or something that came out after Multiplayer 2.0, because I was focused more on the Classic season because it was different and new, and I forgot about the other one, so I finished that in Silver League, the first ever season that I finished in Silver. Now for a quick general review as we come to the end, this is one of the best cars in Class A and definitely worth picking up if you don't have it. Hopefully the packs come back, and if you do have it, good, yay. Okay, so we come in first, and thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 and Asphalt 9 and Forza Horizon content, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!